Hello, and welcome to A Brand New Day with BTS, a podcast dedicated to bringing you a day-by-day history and song discussion of the South Korean music group internationally known as BTS. It's time for V's birthday special. We talk about V's birthday in BTS history and also slow dancing from V's first solo album, Layover. First, recent BTS activity, December 20th to December 27th. I'm doing episodes so close together that I just have to cover a week of news again, so this is going to be short. Maybe not. There's a couple of lives. We'll begin where we left off, which is very early on December 20th, when we get Jin, JK, and V live from JK's karaoke room. It was nearly 4 a.m. They'd had dinner at 11 and had been drinking since then. The live was V's idea, and of course JK is always up for a live stream, so it was on before Jin's brain could register that this wasn't his usual MO. So the live is very cute because it's Jin very quietly panicking about being so messy on live, and our two messiest on live members reassuring him that this is what ARMY live for. In fairness to Jin, I do understand the sudden sobering thought that you're the oldest in the room and should therefore be responsible, because if anything goes wrong, you're going to be the one blamed. Sometimes that happens even when you aren't the oldest, but just the most usually responsible. It was a very fun live and concluded with Jin and V declaring that because they all helped JK earn his money, they had shares in his bed and he couldn't deny them the right to sleep over. JK was fine with it, as long as they realized it also meant he owned their houses too. We also found out that Jin has a thank you zone in his house where he has hung all the BTS Festa family portraits over the years, and he bows to them in the morning and thanks them for allowing him to wake up in such a nice house. On the 21st, which happened to be winter solstice for those who celebrate it, BTS went live from a very nicely decorated set. It was a very chaotic group live with no set agenda, just chats that jumped from one topic to another faster than even Jin could keep up. Some highlights would be them getting a recognition award for having 30 million followers on Weverse, Jin declaring that as long as AI benefited only the few and caused hardship for the vast majority of people, then it was no good. V explained that before their Tipsy Live the day before, Jin said some really nice warm things to him, but he can't say what they were because they have to do with the upcoming album. Everyone is a little frustrated that they can't talk about the album yet, and that although it might look like they aren't doing much, they're actually very busy behind the scenes, and big things are happening soon that they're looking forward to. They did talk vaguely about the album, with Jimin saying that it was the perfect album to begin BTS's Chapter 2. V has been doing live streams a great deal over Christmas. He came live on the 23rd to brag about a taxi driver giving him chocolates. Then in the early hours of the night on the 25th, he came live again. He was on his way home from a Brown Eyed Soul concert that he attended along with RM on the 24th. The early live on the 25th was just a quick Merry Christmas while he was walking down the street. Then later on the same day, after he had slept and woke up again, he did a voice-only live stream that was a little bit longer. He let us know how he'd spent Christmas so far, the concert, going to karaoke with his friends, and playing games. His TMI was that he hasn't worked out for a month and a half because he overdid it and hurt his shoulder, which maybe hasn't been quite the same since he hurt it performing Dionysus back in late 2019. He says he's going to get treatment for it now. He also did a live just today on the 27th. Again, mostly just chatting on voice only, but he turned on the camera briefly. I haven't read official translations yet, but I did see that he talked briefly about debating whether he should get laser hair removal on his face or not. He's not happy with the look of his beard, but is also afraid of how painful laser hair removal is said to be. So we'll see what he decides. All right, there's all your live stream news in one go. Let's talk about what else happened. Still keeping with V News, V did a photo shoot and interview for Vogue Japan. The photos are gorgeous, of course, and the interview is really good. It really makes me even more eager to hear what V sounds like on the upcoming album. In the interview, V also said that the song that represents him currently is Winter Ahead. Makes me think I should have done that song for the song discussion this week, but I'd already committed to slow dancing, so that's what we're going to do. The AP Watch Company finally released J-Hope's performance of Mona Lisa that he did for them during his trip to Dubai a couple months ago. So J-Hope has been posting photos from Dubai on Instagram now that that video's up. RM has also been active on Instagram wishing us Merry Christmas with noodles and also posting an unidentified fluffy animal in his lap and also posting a lot of selfies and also a screenshot of a notes app that reads, "Bye bye bad memories." Jimin also returned to Instagram. He explained during the group live that he had forgotten his password, but thankfully he was able to get it back 3 days later. Of course, that's when he decided to archive his entire feed and start again. So, a mixed blessing. We get new Jimin pictures, but we lose the old Jimin pictures. Speaking of recovering old passwords, V not only logged into the old fan cafe, but started posting there again and chatting with ARMY. For those who don't know, Fan Cafe is a membership-only fan forum run by the company Daum. It's largely Korean ARMY only because in order to become a member, you had to answer a rather difficult, as I understand it, BTS quiz that is given only in the Korean language. Fan Cafe hasn't been updated officially since 2019 and was largely abandoned in favor of Weverse. V explained in his posts and his live that he got nostalgic feeling from visiting it and reading the old posts. And so he decided to put himself in the mindset of the HYYH era. And he went deep into his camera roll and posted never before seen photos from the filming of I Need You and the prologue, which V just called Butterfly because that's the song most featured in it. He also found an old promo photo for his role in the drama Harang, The Flowery Nights, which he filmed in 2016 during that era as well. We still have 2 days until V's birthday, but I have to get this episode recorded and processed before then. So I'm cutting off the news there for now. Hopefully I didn't miss anything important. I feel like I have, but what can you do? That's your highlights overview. Editor Alex here to add that between me recording the news and me editing this episode, Yoongi went live. That's right. We've got the first Suga solo live of 2025. He was discharged from enlistment in June, so we waited a bit, but he kept his promise to see us in 2025, and not just in a group live, but on his own. And what's more, he introduced us to his cat. So the mystery of the black cat, if any of you knew about it, was that when JK was on Dreamers, or when JK was doing Dreamers in 2022, Yoongi posted pictures and we saw his camera roll in the pictures he was posting. And he had pictures of a black cat in the camera roll. And Army was like, who's that cat? Anyway, turns out that cat is Soltong, which is Yoongi's black cat named Sugar, nicknamed Tong. So there we go. Soltong, Sugar in English, is his black cat. And he spent the live playing with Tong. And it was so adorable and cute. And then right after he went live, Namjoon went live. And he talked a bunch because it's Namjoon. And I haven't had a chance to see the translations of that yet. I watched it, but I don't speak Korean. So I will talk about those lives more in the next episode. But I did see them. And I'm super excited, especially at seeing Sugar. And Sugar. Sugar and Sugar. At seeing Yoongi and his cat, Soltong. This day in BTS history, December 30th. It's a birthday special, which means we start in the 90s again, with December 30th, 1995. 2 days before the new year, Kim Tae-young is born as the first child to young parents. He is just in time to be same-age friends with his future bandmate Jimin. Because his parents have to work outside the home a lot, his father in particular traveling long distance for work, V is primarily raised by his grandmother for the first 14 years of his life and forms a very close bond with her. V has very fond memories of his father visiting on the weekends. Now let's jump ahead to December 30th, 2011. V's first birthday as a trainee at Big Hit is his 16th birthday. Of the Bangtan members we know and love today, only Jimin is missing from the group of current trainees. December 30th, 2012. The final lineup has been decided, and V is among those chosen, alongside his same-age friend Jimin, who only just joined Big Hit in the spring. V turned 17. Because the members haven't been announced yet, besides RM and Jin, and V himself won't be announced until June, There's no public celebration of his birthday. Instead, RM tweets about how we all survived the year that the world was supposed to end, according to some interpretations of the Mayan calendar, and that next year will be the year of BTS. December 30th, 2013. V's first publicly celebrated birthday is his 18th birthday. The members throw him a surprise party. They didn't have time to make seaweed soup, but Jin made him a chicken breast dish that was very good, according to V on his January 1st log. It being chicken breast, I do wonder if they were all on diets at this time. As I discussed in the last episode, Suga is actually in the hospital on this day, recovering from an infection after a very bad appendicitis emergency earlier in the month. He tweets a photo of his fingers making a V and wishes V a happy birthday from his hospital bed. V also wishes a fellow senior idol a happy birthday who shares V's birthday with him. He also tweets selfies after his birthday lunch. Jin and JK and Hobie and RM also tweet photos of themselves making a V with their fingers and wishing him happy birthday. Suga interrupts to tweet that they need to visit him and bring him food. Someone, I think possibly Jimin, since he's the only one who didn't do the finger photos, tweets a photo of their feet making a V. On the Bangtan TV YouTube channel, the team boasts the Bangtan bomb suddenly attacked, though I have no idea when it was filmed, so if anyone feels like investigating, I'd appreciate it. December 30th, 2014. On V's 19th birthday, BTS are returning to Korea after a trip to Beijing, and then going straight to the pre-recording for MBC's Gayo Daejun New Year's show. The members once again take to Twitter, this time posting funny photos of V as they wish him happy birthday. As a gift to ARMY on his own birthday, V posts his cover of Adele's song, Someone Like You. This really is a little hidden gem these days, and so if you've never seen it, I suggest looking it up. Even at 19, V's voice is beautiful on this song. You can find the song on the Bangtan TV YouTube channel called Bangtan Bomb, Someone Like You, sung and produced by V. He filmed the video on a short footpath near the office, likely just before they went on their short trip to China. December 30th, 2015. V's 20th birthday is spent at KBS Song Festival. RM injures his leg exiting the stage during rehearsal and ends up unable to perform, so it's just the 6 of them. All the members once again tweet funny photos of V, or in the case of Hobie and Suga, photos they just took because they didn't have any funny photos stored. Jimin tweets a photo of V sleeping with his eyes open, a particular quirk of his, and says, I love you. RM, perhaps addled by his injury, accidentally posts a photo of someone else entirely instead of V, and then quickly deletes it, and then apologizes. Not to be outdone, V himself posts his own nude baby photo, carefully censored, and thanks everyone for the birthday wishes. You can see behinds and parts of their appearance at the KBS Song Festival in the Bangtan Bomb Jungkook collaboration stage with Zion T, and backstage at KBS Song Festival 2015. You can find both of those with subtitles on the Bangtan Subs YouTube channel, just in case Bangtan TV hasn't gotten around to adding subtitles for that far in the past yet. It is also around this time that V is filming the show Flower Boy Bromance with Minjae. It's definitely filmed around his birthday week because Minjae presents him with a cake, and we learn that it's the first cake V has ever received from someone who is not a member of BTS. December 30th, 2016. V's 21st birthday is sandwiched between performing at KBS Song Festival and MBC Korean Music Festival. Most of the tweets this day are from the members wishing V a happy birthday, but there's one tweet from the early hours of the morning after wrapping up the KBS Song Festival that's Jin tweeting a selfie video with Jimin, V, and an acrylic stand of Suga in the dressing room. As I mentioned last episode, Suga hurt his ear and couldn't perform with them during this time, so Jin had carried around a little acrylic stand of him so he'd still have a presence with them. The theme of the tweets for V's birthday this year was pre-debut photos, so we get a lot of the only pre-debut photos we have, given that the company was careful not to show V in pre-debut content, since his presence in the group was kept as a surprise up until the promotional photos were released. December 30th, 2017. Similar to the previous year, V's 22nd birthday is on a day between KBS Song Festival and MBC Music Festival. The members share cake and hang out having nachos and beer since they're all of age to drink now in Korea. Jin gives V a bracelet that he wears every day and shows off in the Saipan summer package in 2018. The members all thank ARMY for supporting them during their appearance at KBS Song Festival before bed, and then once they wake up, they tweet their happy birthday messages to V. This year for birthdays, RM has been following a theme of posting a sketch of their BT21 characters, so he does the same for V on his birthday, posting Koya and Tata and a little letter of happy birthday. Then he realizes if you combine Koya and Tata, it forms a word that sounds like a Japanese snack, so he tweets a sketch of a character based on that idea too. December 30th, 2018. On V's 23rd birthday, Suga gifts him knitwear that's yellow and brown. Jimin tweets happy birthday and refers to himself as V's Hyung, or older brother, even though they're only 2 months apart and born the same year, and therefore officially same-age friends in Korea. He posts photos of V mostly from their trip to Canada earlier that year during the Love Yourself tour. The other members all tweet happy birthday greetings too, with RM posting another drawing of Tata. On this day, they're pre-recording for MBC's Song Festival the next day, and you can see some behind the scenes in the Bangtan Bomb V's surprise bracket birthday party, and also likely the Bangtan Bomb How Much Ice Cream Did Jungkook Eat? And Jin and V sing together. Just before or just after midnight, Jimin releases his first solo song, Promise, with cover art by V. I have this song as being released on December 31st in my notes, but I've heard ARMY say before that it was released on V's birthday, so I think it might depend what time zone you are in, how you remember it happening. But I think officially it was released the day after V's birthday, but I could be wrong. December 30th, 2019. V gets an extra long 24th birthday because the members go out for barbecue to surprise V with dinner and cake in Korea. You can see them discuss it in the Bangtan Bomb V's surprise birthday party and memories 2019. And then after tweeting their happy birthdays in Korea, they all get on a plane and travel to New York, where it is December 30th yet again. V does a live stream from the hotel room where he talks about his birthday and the fact that they're not giving each other presents anymore, but Hobie still gave him something. Despite the extended birthday, V feels like he spent his entire birthday on a plane and hopes to do something more fun next year. December 30th, 2020. We get members wishing V happy birthday on Twitter. This will be the last year with solely Twitter messages for birthdays, as by this time next year they'll have their Instagram accounts. V does a live stream from the artist lounge at the company. He talks about Snowflower, which I mentioned in last week's episode, and also his upcoming mixtape. According to V, the mixtape had been delayed because of issues of timing and also him not being ready to release it. Right now, he's thinking of maybe releasing 1 or 2 songs ahead of a full mixtape, maybe in early to mid 2021. Just as an aside here, we know that by the end of 2020, BTS had fully entered an era where plans were continually changing, and they kept delaying the start of Chapter 2. In my opinion, this constantly changing plans and delay of established plans was likely due to both waiting for the pandemic to be over so that they could have one last concert, and also wanting to see how far they could go in their career before they had to interrupt it for 3 years. We also, however, know that V is a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to his mixtape, so also delaying it in order to perfect it makes sense, to the point where I'll talk about this later, but he ends up delaying it so much that he actually never releases it. But back to 2020. After his live stream, V and the rest of BTS pre-record the performance of Boy With Love for the 2021 New Year's Eve live that Weverse is holding the next day. They also have rehearsals for the main show. A couple of Bangtan Bombs were filmed on this day as well, including a surprise birthday party for V and Happy New Year 2021, and you can watch both with subs on the Bangtan TV YouTube channel. December 30th, 2021. BTS are on vacation. The members all share their birthday messages to V on social media. It's a mix of Instagram and Twitter messages, as BTS make the transition away from the shared account on Twitter platform and towards individual accounts on Instagram. It's a lot of photos of V. Hobie also teases ARMY with a screenshot of the folders on his hard drive, which are sorted by year from 2011 to 2016, before tweeting multiple photos of V over the years. RM also posts photos of art and comments on Hobie's post telling him not to release all his photos. And he also posts a New Year's message to ARMY. The birthday boy himself visits his friend Ushik on the set of Our Beloved Summer. December 30th, 2022. For the last year, Suga keeps the Twitter account alive by posting happy birthday to V, calling him a punk. RM posts a photo of Art and General Namjoon and recommends the song When the Play Is Over by Sharp. Jimin and RM also post happy birthday to V, and V posts his own thank yous. Meanwhile, J-Hope is in New York. I record the days in local time, so don't worry, J-Hope also wished V a happy birthday, but he technically did it on December 29th in New York, so that V would see it on the 30th in Korea. But on the 30th in New York, J-Hope posts photos from his trip to New York, and also right before he falls asleep, he gets a call from Jin, and they chat. Jin is enlisted, so he's not active where ARMY can see him, but he is working very hard. December 30th, 2023. BTS are all enlisted, but they still have friends around to help mark the occasion. Umi, a singer-songwriter from the US, releases her new song, Wherever You Are, featuring V of BTS, which they had recorded right before he enlisted. December 30th, 2024. V turns 29 while still enlisted. Jin and J-Hope are both free again, but sadly, just the day before V's birthday, there was a tragic plane crash in Jeju, and a national week of mourning in South Korea began immediately. So out of respect, there is no social media activity about V's birthday, even from Jin and J-Hope. And that brings us to this year. It's V's 30th birthday, and his first one after discharge. I'm not sure what he's going to get up to, but I do know that he looks very handsome on his Japanese Vogue photo shoot. And also, I remembered a bit of news that I forgot to say in the news section, and that was that they released a teaser image for what looks like another V-type photo book, possibly chronicling what he looks like post-military, because he had the V-type photo book before he went into the military, and now there seems to be a new one coming out. So that will be really fun. Song discussion. Slow Dancing by V. Slow Dancing is the lead track off of V's first solo EP, Layover, released in 2023. In episode 29 of this podcast, I talked a little about how V's mixtape plans changed between 2022 and the release of Layover, and what may have been the causes of that, so I won't touch on it too much here. The end result of the events of that year was that V decided to go with an EP created by selecting songs from outside producers rather than writing the songs himself, even though we all know that V is a talented writer and has many songs he's recorded and never released over the years. The songs selected for the album, while not written by V, do represent V's taste very, very well, and he performs them brilliantly. Because V is very focused on visuals, I'll probably spend a good chunk of this discussion on the music video and performances. So let's start with the lyrics first this time. Slow Dancing was written by Freekind, Kim Sima, Gigi, and FRNK, and it was produced by Freekind and FRNK. And Freekind might be free kind. I'm doing it the German way and saying free kind, as in a free child. I don't know what's actually right, so my apologies to free kind if I'm completely saying their name wrong. The song is a romantic jazz song that sounds really free-spirited and sexy, but is ultimately about a relationship that is in the process of failing. We start off right away with the reality of the situation. It's about time we get it straight. Give me a minute if it ain't too late. Maybe it was too much, babe. All we've done is hurt the wrong feelings. Bearing through this is already so hard, but stay with me till the end of the day. The chorus coming in saying that maybe we could be slow dancing isn't so much a call to seduction, but a reminder of what they could be doing instead of ending the relationship. It becomes a plea for one more night rather than a promise for a great future together. Personally, I was not a huge fan of the English lyrics of the second verse on first listen. Those lyrics are, turning me up and back off like this. What do you want? Do you not like it? Stop teasing me, girl. Now you made me leave my heart out there. I mean, I wasn't a fan because it gives kind of a toxic guy energy where his biggest fear is emotional vulnerability, whereas girls have to worry about being coerced into acts they don't want to do. I do admit that's a kind of very dark reading of the verse, though, and the Korean that follows clarifies that it's not the teasing and the emotional vulnerability without sexy payment that he finds objectionable. It's the fact that the love is one-sided and V is being used as a stepping stone to someone else. The occurring lyrics I'm talking about that clarify this translate to, "You step on me to rise up. Someone new again. Got it on, did you? We used to be so similar, but that day we felt like distant neighbors." So we see that the problem isn't that the girl has stopped the sexy times after teasing him, like the English lyrics would suggest. Instead, it's about her cheating on him to the point where it seems that her personality has changed, that what he thought was a real connection turned out to be her using him to get ahead and then moving on to someone new. So much so that he doesn't even feel that he knows who she is. The chorus comes back in, reminding us what they could have had if she had been as willing as he was to actually love, that they could have remained romancing the night away with each other rather than being distant neighbors. Instead of a bridge or a third verse or an outro, we instead get a very beautiful flute solo or piano or sax solo, depending on what performance or version you're listening to. And that takes us through to the end of the song, giving both time for us to appreciate the instrumental music and also time in the performances for V to indulge in some freestyle dancing, both things that V absolutely loves. It's uncommon for pop, but very common for jazz to feature prolonged solos, and I absolutely love V including it in his lead single. I'll talk more about this section when I talk about the performances. Every song on Layover tells the story of a relationship ending. It's very thematically consistent, and the music videos echo this, though they do so with slightly different visuals. The storytelling tells the same story. Layover, as the name suggests, is a visit to a transitory period, a pause after an event and before the next one. V's main character in his music videos is an artist and animator who has gone through a breakup. The music video begins with this very sentimental, nostalgic, and idealized vibe of being on a trip to the beach with your friend group. It has a lot of youthful, found family vibes. But even in this first few shots, we start getting the hint that what we're seeing isn't reality. The music video mirrors the song in this way. It's about a facade. As the video progresses, we see more scenes of the artist and animator V behind the scenes, creating the idealized youthful world we see in those scenes. He has 3D models, motion capture software, and the computer animation code even shows up in the beach scenes as his friends take out laptops and begin working on creating other fantastical elements of the world. Food that shows up in the sea, magical glowing animals that they try to catch in nets. But as we see in the scene in the van at the very beginning, it's actually that these people don't exist. V is a lone guy in his studio with no one around, and he's the one that's creating all these individual characters himself. They may be based on real people in his character's life or past, and much like the lyrics of the song, they could have once danced together, but in reality, that time is over, or at least not actually occurring as we see it. They are now part of a fantasy world that exists only inside the machines that V's character is using to animate the scene. The video closes with reality. V sitting on the roof of the apartment complex we'll see more of in the music video for Blue with his dog, the only being that is V's true companion at this stage in his life. We see him taking a photo of the dog, Yantan, and the effect suggests that this is the way for V to capture and preserve the memory of his dog so that he can add him into the animations later. And if you look closely, you will see Yantan Easter eggs throughout the fantasy sequences, the whole video. It's the immortalizing of V's dog Yantan, though played by a dog called Rocky in the music videos, where V's character most closely matches up with V in real life, at least to our knowledge. V put Yantan on the cover of the album and included him in the album artwork and photo shoots, and most notably one performance, which I'll talk about in a second. But it's my opinion that V already knew that Yantan was unlikely to live much longer. V adopted him knowing he had health problems and cared for him as best he could, but there's only so much he could do. And only a year later, while V was enlisted, Yantan passed away. So, is the music video about a lonely artist creating a fantasy world in which he can travel with his friends? Or is it an artist immortalizing those he loves through his art, knowing that those times are fleeting or now past? Just as V already knew he had a limited time left with his dog and wanted to celebrate him as much as he could in the artwork and aesthetics of his album. Either way, I love the music video and that contrast between fantasy and reality. and the questions it brings up about the stories we tell ourselves, the way we remember things, and the purpose of the art that we create. A random side note that I can't explain, but the crown we see V and his friends wearing in the fantasy scenes reminds me of the crown in the artwork for Where the Wild Things Are. Even though looking it up, it really looks nothing like it, but for some reason, that's where my mind goes. As soon as I saw the crown, I was like, oh, it's Where the Wild Things Are. Next, we'll talk about performances. Since this was the lead single, V performed it a lot. He went to Korean music shows as well as doing a special live to tape performance for Naver's N-Pop. And he also sang it both in a special band session video and also in his performance on Tiny Desk Korea, which launched that regional version of Tiny Desk. In the band session and Tiny Desk, which had the same band with him, musician Jacob Szczesny does an amazing job at doing the instrumental solo. In the band session, he does it on a flute, while at Tiny Desk, he does it on a tenor saxophone. Both times, V is absolutely visibly thrilled with standing there and just loving the performance. I just feel the need to gush about how much I love that it's clear each BTS member absolutely adores music itself, but it's especially heartwarming to see V's huge smiles as he gets to listen to talented musicians play the songs that speak personally to him. In the band session performance video, we also get a very special treat of seeing V improvising on a tenor saxophone himself at the very end, an instrument that he hasn't gotten a chance to play since high school. As a high school tenor sax player myself, I'm very impressed. Even at the height of my talent, I was never a good improviser. I've since lived over a decade in a small apartment with thin walls, so I left my saxophone behind in storage, and if I took it out now, I would be even rustier than V if I tried to play it. For the performances on the Korean music shows and Naver N-Pop, V went the more traditional K-pop performance route and sings to a music track rather than live instrumentals. He's on stage alone for the first part of the song, but then has dancers come out to join him on stage during either the second verse or the instrumental solo, and they perform a dance break that is half choreographed and half freestyle. For this part, V usually dons a baseball cap and pulls it down over his eyes. I now can't find the source, but I know that he explained it in a live stream or an interview that the hat helps him block out the camera, audience, and lights and become less self-conscious as he gets into the groove of dancing. Possibly the most notable performance is the one on M Countdown, in which he brought Yeontan out on stage with him. A good dog owner, he did it in a way where he let Yeontan decide how much he wanted to participate once he was out there. The lights and crowd were a little much, so Yeontan followed V a little bit onto the stage, but stayed back before eventually deciding his part was over once the dancers came out for the second verse. Yeontan got his own fan cam for the performance, and everyone jokes that it was Yeontan's stage debut as a new idol. It's also really adorable how it's clear that, much like real idols getting ready for music shows, Yeontan had a full grooming session before his appearance, and he looked so soft and fluffy. It was very adorable. V also performed the song on the Japanese YouTube show The First Take, which records an artist singing one song from beginning to end in a single take. V has become such a great vocalist. It's a great performance to listen to, just to marvel at how much he sounds just as good, if not better, than the recording. It's also one of the only times he sings along to the piano version of the track. And he also performed the song during his performance on IU's Palette show. The official fan chant for the song has the crowd chanting Kim Tae-young during the dance break, but V said in a live stream that he's actually not a fan of that chant because it makes him laugh. So at his fan meeting before enlistment, he forbid it and said that the rule was that you had to sing along to the whole song instead, and anyone caught chanting or not singing would get a yellow card. So, what's your favorite performance of slow dancing? Did I talk about it, or is it one that I skipped over? One last thing that I noticed while I was writing this episode, and possibly I noticed this because Are You Sure has been in top of my mind recently with its second season, but about a week after V's promotion period for Layover ended, and just 3 months after filming the music video for Slow Dancing, where V either reminisces or fantasizes about going to a beach and on a boat with friends, V would end up joining Jimin and JK on their trip to Jeju Island, and he would spend time swimming and being in a boat with his friends. So hey, sometimes dreams do come true. All right, next episode. I have not figured that out yet. I'll think about it while I edit this one and tack something on in editing. Editing Alex here again. To let you know that I decided I'm going to release my next episode in about 3 weeks, giving myself a week off again. And this is just to time it right with Hobie's birthday, which I'm going to do in February. But anyway, my next episode will be released on January 21st, Korean Standard Time. Okay, and the song that I'm going to cover is going to be Miss Right, and I decided to go back to the random song generator and use it again, and that's how I came up with that song. I clicked it until it gave me a full group song because I'm doing the birthday specials. I was trying to keep the episodes in between about full group songs, so I'm going to continue that until after Yoongi's birthday in March, and then we'll go back to either completely random or completely selected by me. But yeah, so January 21st, KST, Miss Right will be the next episode. And that will kick off chapter 2 of this podcast, not chapter 2. And that will kick off season 2 of this podcast. Thank you for listening. This is the end of season 1, that means. Amazing. I did this for a whole year. Thanks for listening. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode. If you'd like to discuss this episode, or next week's song, or have a say in what song gets chosen in the future, you can find me on Patreon and Ko-fi at A Brand New Day Pod. You can also find me on Blue Sky at A Brand New Day Pod, or you can email me at abrandnewdaypod@gmail.com. Thank you. Have a good day.